So, welcome again to the new lecture of this course, Solar Photovoltaics Principles, Technologies and Materials. So, we have been talking about thin film solar cells for past couple of lectures. Let me just brief the recap of previous lecture. In the last lecture, we started our discussion with cadmium telluride solar cells. So, cadmium telluride solar cells are basically thin film solar cells where we use P-type CDTE as absorber, and so this is about 2 micron thick layer, and then N-type CDS is used as window layer and to make a junction. Okay, and then appropriately you choose the contacts, and this is basically a device which is on glass substrate, and the light typically comes from glass side. And we also looked at a few processing issues of this processing methods. So, we looked at evaporation, sputtering and galvanic reaction. So, it is a very good material from the perspective of properties. It has a almost ideal band gap. The efficiency of the devices are very good. They are about 21% or so in the laboratory scale, and very promising technology for the future, and potentially the one to replace silicon eventually. So, let me now move on with some more things about processing. So, as we said about processing, so not only you can process CDTE by sputtering, evaporation and galvanic reaction, you can also process this by MOCVD kind of process, wherein the precursors of CD and TE react over a heated substrate and lead to formation of cadmium telluride film, and these precursors are basically metallo-organic precursors. So, basically we are looking at for example, for cadmium we are using cadmium dimethyl for cadmium we have dimethyl cadmium, and for tellurium we use diisopropyl tellurium. Okay, and these are put into a carrier gas hydrogen, which is, so essentially you have a substrate here. So, this is substrate which is kept inside a chamber at a temperature of 200 to 400 degrees centigrade, and then precursors arrive. So, this is precursors, and then they react to give rise to CDTE film, and the byproducts go out of the system. So, this is a very useful process, and it gives you columnar grains with a grain diameter of about 1 micron or so. Okay, columnar grains are good because see, you can have in a device you can have a grain structure like this, or you can have a grain structure which is like this. So, this is, you can say, a polycrystalline equiaxed grain structure, and in this case you have, so this is a preferred grain structure because it prevents recombination sideways. There are no leakages and recombination paths in the films. So this is preferred over. You can't make a single crystal films, which is difficult to make, but you can certainly make a columnar polycrystalline structure which is better over aqueous structure of the films. And the processing of CDT can also be done by spray deposition. So this spray deposition process uses basically a slurry of CDTE, CDCl2 and a carrier, and this carrier is typically propylene glycol. Okay, so basically you make a sort of mixture in a sort of solvent, and then you spray it on a substrate, and then you heat treat. So basically you spray it, followed by heat treatment at about 200 degrees centigrade to 500 degrees centigrade, and sometimes oxygen is also used in the later stages. And this after this one deposits CDS layer on it. So this is the processing, these are the processing methods for cadmium telluride, and again in this case it can also be screen printed. There is a possibility to screen print it also. So one can also screen print. So screen printing is basically you have a substrate, you put slurry on it, and this slurry is taken away using a roller. So this is a roller. This roller is going to go forward. So through a screen the film is deposited. So you have a substrate with, and then you have a screen on top of it. So there could be a screen on top of it. This is the screen with certain mesh size, and then on top of the screen you put in the slurry, and the slurry is rolled over using a roller manually or automatically to give you a film. So this is also a process, and then you of course heat treat after deposition. Okay. So these are certain processes which one can undertake to make these films, and cadmium sulphide is typically deposited by, you can deposit cadmium sulphide by solution deposition, chemical bath deposition. So you can have CDS layer, CDS layer can be deposited by chemical processes, or it can also be used using physical processes. And this thin film is very thin. Okay. So the issues which are there in the process, what are the things that one adopts to improve the process? So the device structure that we get is something like this. So we have glass substrate. So this is glass, transparent glass, the light comes from this side, and then we have TCO. So you can have a TCO here. TCO means transparent conducting oxide. Then we have a thin high resistance oxide, HR oxide. Then we have a layer of CDS. So this is CDS. This is N type layer, and then we have a layer of CDT. This is P type CDT, and then we have secondary contact. So you can make a contact on top here, top contact. Okay. Now generally there are certain issues in this device structure. One, it is important to have a particular grain structure. So your grain structure may be it's preferred that you have a grain structure like this. Okay, so we preferable. So columnar grain structure is preferred here, okay, in the CDT layer. Similarly, within CDS layer also you would have grain boundaries. These grain boundaries, if they are columnar, it is better. So again, for this layer also we would all like to have a columnar grain structure. We should prevent, see, this layer is very thin, it's about 100 nanometer or so, and this is about couple of microns, okay, 2 to 3 microns or so. So the interdiffusion must be avoided. Interdiffusion or reaction between the layers must be divided. And because this layer is very thin, it is possible that you may consume some of this layer with the interreaction. As a result, the CDS thickness effectively may get reduced and you may form some sort of layer at the interface. So these are certain issues in CDT solar cells which one has to overcome by optimizing the process and studying the interdiffusion of various elements. Of course, there is cadmium on both sides, but sulfur can diffuse on this side, tellurium can reduce on the other side, making an alloy of CDS and CDT, which should be avoided. So what are there are a few things one does to improve the process. Solar cells. The first thing one does is CdCl2 or cadmium chloride treatment. This is generally done to, it's done in, so basically done in oxygen and CdCl2 presence, okay, cadmium chloride, and this leads to lower defect density. So chlorine doping of films is useful. So basically you dope the chlorine in it. So lower defect density via chlorine doping after CdCl2 treatment. It also promotes the p-type character. Okay. So when Cl goes in, it goes as Cl minus plus. If it goes to interstitial site, let us say, and then it gives rise to a hole. Okay. So it promotes the p-type character, and this also promotes the grain growth. And one also does low resistance contact. So if you couple this CdCl2 treatment with low resistant contact formation, this leads to better device properties. So for example, you can have at the back contact or on the other side where you don't have glass, between the contact and CDT, if you put a layer of copper, so copper layer helps in improving performance. So copper basically improves the back contact and improves the p-type conductivity. And one can also do window layer improvements. So window layer means cadmium sulfide layer, which is made by either chemical bath deposition or PVD such as sputtering. So basically it should be as thin as possible. It's about 50 to 100 nanometer thin. So 50 to 100 nanometer thin, so that it doesn't lead to any losses, and it allows most of the light to reach to cadmium telluride as an absorber to absorb most of the light. So it doesn't prevent any light, it doesn't block any light. So it's basically a window, it should not act as a blocker. Okay. So, the quality of CDS layer, which is to be deposited using chemical bath deposition and PVD or PVD processes, is quite important. And as I said that CDCl2 treatment is important because that promotes p-type behavior. It also promotes the grain growth. So, this is essential for getting good properties along with some modification in the back contact. Sometimes also if you put a thin resistive oxide layer between TCO and CDS, improves the junction. Basically, it reduces the forward current, okay, because you know your J total is minus JSC or JSC plus JV. So, it keeps the JV under check, keeps the JV little lower, and generally we use, so some of the high efficiency cells, for example, some of the high efficiency cells use cadmium tin oxide as TCO instead of indium tin oxide and Zn2 SnO4 as high resistance oxide layer, because they are nearly similar structures. So, the interface is very good and recombination losses are smaller. So, these are certain parameters that these are certain process improvements one can do in the CDTE solar cells. The CDCl2 treatment is done by, how do you do CDCl2 treatment? So, cadmium chloride treatment is done by, it is done after the deposition of, so it is a post deposition treatment, okay, and it is done by few methods. So, you can have first method as dipping CDT layer in CDCl2 CH3OH bath, or it could be CDCl2 H2O bath, followed by drying and then heating, okay. So, followed by drying and then heat treatment, okay. It can also be done, so you can also expose CDT film to CDCl2 vapors. You can also do expose to HCl or chlorine gas, because the main thing is to introduce the chlorine in it, and the temperature generally of this treatment is 380 to 450 degree centigrade, and the treatment is done for 15 to 30 minutes. And oxygen treatment is useful. So, if you do a oxygen treatment at about 450 degree centigrade is useful. So, all these things they lead to reduction in the sheet resistance. So, what you obtain is reduction in sheet resistance by about 2 to 3 orders of magnitude. Remember, it is not 2 to 3 times, it is 2 to 3 orders of magnitude, okay. So, if it was 1000 earlier, it will become 10, okay. And they also improve the shunt resistance, and as a result JSC and VOC improve. Also the fill factor. So, if you just qualitatively want to look at the effect of this treatment, so if you plot, for example, let us say the plot of J versus V. So, if this is 0, this is, So let's say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. This is milliamps per centimeter square, JSJ. So this would be 5, 10. And the voltage, let's say, is about 0.5 and 1 volt here. So the one without any heat treatment would give you a property something like that. So this is without heat treatment. If you do a heat treatment in air at 550, so if you do in air at 550, you will marginally increase the VOC and you will get, so this is for air 550 degrees centigrade 5 minutes. But if you do CdCl2 treatment, the current increases and the VOC is nearly somewhere here and you get a very good IV curve. So this is for CdCl2 treatment 420 degrees centigrade in air. So it is 20 minutes. So CdCl2 treatment in air is a critical thing to improve the performance, and this is what one observes in these solar cells. And the grain size tends to increase substantially. The grain size becomes of the order of about a micron or more. So after this treatment, the grain size increases to about 1 to 2 micron. So objective is to obtain. So this chlorine treatment is important for cadmium, and the XRD also tends to show changes. So after CdCl2 treatment, the 111, so before treatment, one peak is strong, while others are weaker. After treatment, the other peaks also become strong. So 111, 220, 311. So peaks become stronger. So basically, you can say that there is an improvement in the X-ray diffraction pattern, or you can say crystallinity improvement. Okay, improvement in the essentially crystallinity. So this is what is the sort of CdCl2 processing about. There are issues, as I said. The issues are since you have CdS and CdTe, there is a issue of intermixing at when you do the heat treatment. They tend to make an alloy CdTx S1 minus X. So this has to be prevented from formation. So it leads to basically it leads to reduction. So basically it consumes, you can say, CdS. As a result, low wavelength QE reduces, okay, because CdS is high band gap material. So as a result, it is mainly used for the lower wavelength side absorption, and as a result, when it gets consumed, the amount of CdS is reduced, and hence it reduces the quantum efficiency on the lower wavelength side or higher energy side. And again, this is prevented by CdCl2 treatment to some extent. Okay. There are certain other issues such as toxicity of cadmium. However, there are both supporters and detractors of the same thing. Some people say cadmium is very nasty, it will pose health concerns, but the other people say that there is not enough cadmium in it to prevent, and since it's a solar cell is going to be recycled in a safe manner, there is no way cadmium is going to leach out so much. So there are both sides, but in the end disposal must be safe. So safe practices in terms of recycling and disposal are needed, and processing should be made more environment friendly. But by and large, it's a very, very good technique. It has good atmospheric stability, excellent stability, good performance. So it's a technology of future. It already consists of 10% market of the solar PV devices in worldwide, and there are hopes that this will pick up soon. So this is where we end our discussion on cadmium telluride, and next we will move on to so cadmium telluride, as I already told you, the efficiencies of the order of let me give you the efficiency numbers. The efficiency of cadmium telluride, I think I told you in the last class. So efficiency of cadmium telluride is about 21% efficiency, which is a pretty good number, and the costs are expected to come down in future. So this is where we stand today, discussing CDT solar cells completely. Next we move on to our discussion to the next topic will be discussion on copper indium gallium selenide solar cells, which is called as CIGS, another important thin film technology which has a lot of potential to make it commercial. Thank you.